Allez, c'est parti pour le react de la livrée de Red Bull et Racing Bulls. Donc je me suis pas fait spoiler, sauf vite fait avec la miniature de cette vidéo de rediff, pour la Red Bull je pense, mais voilà, bon, allez hop.
And there's no better backdrop for kicking off our return to F1 with Red Bull.
Alors évidemment, le live est à 4h du match, je me suis pas levé pour ça. Hein. Là, il est 10h15.
And tonight we honor that legacy as we mark our return to the highest level of racing. And Ford has a storied history with Formula One. And now we're here to write the next chapter with Red Bull. For me, this is deeply personal. Our family name is on all our products around the world, so we demand excellence and we race to win. And that's why I'm so proud to have the next generation of family working at Ford now, including my son Will, who you saw earlier, who's helping lead Ford Racing. You know, I saw our shared values in action when I visited the Red Bull Ford Powertrains facility in Milton Keynes. Together, we're going to be unstoppable. And as we re-enter F1 with one of the best racing
instoppable, là, il dit.
We're all members of the Ford family.
Lol.
And when Henry Ford won that race in 1901, some called it the race that changed the world. Alongside Red Bull, we intend to make history again. And to quote my uncle Henry Ford II, let's go like hell.
Attention à ce genre de propos, on va être instoppable. Attention quand même, ça pourrait mal vieillir. Hein. Une petite cinématique. Ah, la canette, important. Il faut vendre les canettes, hein, vite. Hein. Vite acheter des canettes, hein. Il dégoûte, quoi. Acheter des canettes pour financer Max Verstappen, hein.
Like a great man once said, there is no disgrace in honest failure. There is disgrace in fearing to fail. It was clear that fear of failure would never figure. Some minds just see things differently. And somewhere along the way, those minds have a habit of finding each other.
Les mecs quand même ils ont tellement de sports différents quoi. Dans lesquels ils sont. Y'a pas les crashs de Max. Pourquoi vous mettez pas les crashs de Max? Ah ils ont mis Ricardo vite fait. Où est Tsunoda? Tsunoda qui nous casse les couilles sur F1 Manager, vous pourriez le mettre aussi. Où est Perez? Ah, je l'ai aperçu vite fait Tsunoda. Mais vraiment, c'était un dixième de seconde. Hein. Le Sonager. Ah bah il en.
Kicking off a new era with one incredible undertaking. The scale and the ambition of this project, it's huge. Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Briscoe and I am so excited to welcome the two people leading the charge on this power unit. Team Principal and CEO of Oracle Red Bull Racing, Laurent Mekies, and Force CDO, Jim Farley.
Donc CEO de Ford et de Red Bull. Team principal de Red Bull.
Hi, welcome, hi. Let me officially welcome you, Laurent, to Detroit. Let's just dive right into what you are doing. Why did Oracle Red Bull Racing decide to build their own power?
Est-ce qu'il y a des sous-titres d'ailleurs?
Well, good evening everyone. At first, a big thank you to
oui.
Here in Detroit, in Ford.
Attends, est-ce qu'on peut traduire peut-être éventuellement?
it's a historical moment for all of us. So
Je regarde vite fait.
why did we get on and try to do our own engine? Well, at first,
Ah ouais, on va peut-être pouvoir
we
avoir
are
des sous-titres
entering
traduits.
a historical moment
C'est
for
bien
Formula
ça.
One. It's going to be the biggest change of regulations in Formula One
Ouais,
history.
nickel.
This year, this season. It's the first time ever
Parfait.
we have such a big change in both the chassis regulations and the power unit regulations. But that was not enough. It's also the moment where we decided to do our own power unit with the incredible support from our strategic partner Ford, with us from the very early days. And you know, it's a crazy challenge. Perhaps a challenge that only company like Red Bull and Ford can decide to do, but that's what we are here for. So that's going to be you know, a year full of challenges. But it's fundamentally what
Cet accent qu'il a quand même.
Ford, this isn't welcome. This is welcome back to Formula One.
Yeah.
Why was now the right time?
Well, first of all, I want to do one thing off script, which is appreciate Laurent. Everyone, give it up for this man. Let's go.
Oh, il apprécie Laurent Mekies, incroyable.
You know, when there's change, you never want to let a crisis go to waste. And this change allowed Ford to re-enter Formula One with Red Bull as a challenger, really. And as a leader of a big company, you want to put your company in a position to be a challenger. And that's exactly what we are right now. And America loves an underdog, right? So the regulations were key. I don't think we probably would have done this, to Laurent's point, if there wasn't a regulation change.
Regulations, changes, sometimes people shy away from that, but that also can equal opportunity. Laurent, if you look at this project, the scope of it, this is obviously...
Laurent.
could
Laurent
take
Mekies,
decades
les
to
sous-titres.
develop and build it. You guys did it in a matter of years. How is that even possible?
You know, when we said earlier it was a crazy challenge, it really was the case. Like, we didn't buy an existing power unit manufacturers. We didn't buy any existing structures. We started in a field. At the back of the Oracle Red Bull Racing campus, there was a field there. We brought the factory up, put some dyno in it, hire 600, 700 people, the best talent we could find. Look and find the best partners with Ford, with Exxon, with Oracle, with so many of the people that have been making that challenge possible, and try to build that from the ground up. That's the size of the challenge for us.
Be honest, like how many sleepless nights has this led to? Maybe a few?
Look, we have sleepless nights, but you know what? It's you work all your life not to have sleepless nights, but you work all your life to be...
You have kids.
Yeah, that too. To be associated with a challenge of that magnitude. That's what all of us passionate about the sport, probably most of you would like to be involved in, and that's what we have. We have an unreal challenge, and we have the privilege to be associated with it, to be involved in it. So yes, it comes with a few headaches, yes, it comes with a few sleepless nights, but fundamentally that's what fuels us.
The bottom line is it's a job most people would pay to get to do. But as long as we're talking about sleepless nights, the man at the heart of this project is Red Bull Ford Powertrain's technical director, Ben Hodgkinson. He joins us now live from the powertrain facility in the UK, where these power units are designed and built. Hi, Ben. How's it going?
Hello, Nicole. Yeah, well, thanks for beaming in. I'm here in Dyno 5 control room. Behind me, we've got engine 312, which has been doing some calibration laps. It's actually doing some laps around Barcelona to try and complement our durability running that's going on next door. I mean, there's a lot to do. Things are getting real now, which is unfortunately why I can't be there. I guess while there's still an opportunity for me to make a difference, I'll be in here making it. So we're pushing on. We've got to get race ready. I see it's now 1 hour into Friday, which means I've got 49 days until free practice 1 Australia. So
Yeah,
got to keep
exactly.
going.
Ben, math has never been my strong suit, so thank you for doing that math for me, both in the number of days and also what time it is. All I know is it's like the middle of the night. When you look at the scale of everything that has already happened, what has your team done in the last 4 years?
Au final, le mec, ils le font lever à 4h du mat pour voir ça. Ils abusent un peu quand même. Hein. Parce que, non, il était 3h du mat au UK là.
Pretty rapidly after the first few months of starting, and it right now is the culmination of 4 years of hard graft from 700 teammates that are putting their all into it. In those 4 years, we actually had to find those 700 teammates and recruit them, trying to find the very, very best in their field. We had to build 3 factories.
Les petits jeunes derrière, ils dorment pas là.
Facilities that we've got here in Milton Keynes, and this is an absolutely huge statement from Red Bull. I think it's
Ça bosse tard hein, chez Red Bull.
Somebody only like Red Bull would take on. The partnership with Ford absolutely supports that. they're our sort of crazy. This is one of Dietrich Mateschit's last ambitions to have this power unit being designed and developed on campus in Milton Keynes together with the chassis. And it's an absolute honour and privilege and really a chance of a lifetime. In fact, I think it's pretty unique and not many careers are lucky enough to be able to experience something as historic as this.
Did you guys hear the benchmarks, the laundry list of benchmarks that he listed off just to get to this point? He also, Laurent, sort of brought something up. There's a special part to the name of this power unit. What is it?
Yeah, you're right. You know, this very first engine is called the M01 in tribute to Mr. Mateschitz. Ben mentioned it. You know, it's his vision. Thank you. It's his visions, his boldness. He really is the Red Bull spirit that anyway is the reason why we are all here today. He made that unbelievable decision at the time to put us onto that route of being completely independent with both the chassis and the power unit. He was not scared by the scale of the challenge, and today we have our opportunity to pay tribute and hopefully to make him proud.
That is his legacy. Ben, you talked about Barcelona already. Barcelona testing's coming up in about 10 days. You also mentioned the 700 people working on this project. 700 people in 4 years. For you personally, when you look at everything that's gone on, what's the one moment that's taken your breath away?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's been so many milestones along the way. This engine we've got today is actually our 6th generation, so we keep evolving it, keep trying to make it better. But just last weekend was a particularly personal moment for me and all of my teammates, where the Red Bull engine and the Red Bull chassis got married together in a race bay. It's kind of poignant that every single second of running up until that point had been done on a dyno, and this time it was running on its own in the back of a car in a race bay. And to hear it fire up was a really emotional moment for me. It was the RB22, the Red Bull chassis, and the DM01, the Red Bull 4 powertrains engine, coming together as a pure Red Bull thoroughbred. It was very special indeed, yeah.
Be honest,
And
Ben,
I guess.
did you shed a tear or two?
Go on. I'm far too much of an engineer to have that kind of emotion, but it was definitely.
That's just self-awareness. I need you to be aware of the time now. It is literally the middle of the night. I need to mom you. Thank you for joining us, but can you go to bed now, please? Go on, go to bed.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ben Hodgkins,
Allez,
everyone.
Oli.
It's really not long before we get to see and hear the car on the track. Barcelona testing is coming up in about a week and a half. For both of you guys, Laurent, we'll start with you. Success in year one. What does that actually look like?
You know, after everything we say, you know, in describing the size of the challenge of starting from scratch and building everything up, I think going into the first year, you know, and going to the first race soon and thinking to be straight away at the level of the competitions who have been doing it for perhaps 90 years for some of them, I think it will be naive. We are not naive. We know it's going to be coming with a fair amount of struggle, a fair amount of headaches and sleepless nights, as we say. But that's exactly what we are here for. And you know, we have the confidence of having put together an amazing group of people, an amazing group of partners, and we will go through the struggle. We will eventually come out on top. Bear with us in the first few months, and I think these initial difficulties will be a good reminder of how much we went through to eventually get on top.
I think for us at Ford is the test to be clear enough that Ford knows exactly what we need to do to support the Red Bull team. That's the most important thing, that we know exactly how we could help and make our first race a success and the first part of the season a success. That's what we're looking for, is the clarity of our work.
Who's excited to watch it happen? Gentlemen, thank you for essentially explaining the why for all of this. Let's now take a quick look at behind the scenes about how all of this came together.
Hello folks, welcome to
Ah, il y a un petit clip vidéo encore.
By creating a challenge which is bold and audacious. You only attract bold and audacious people.
So there is our final inspection area. Are we allowed to film in there? No, there's stuff going on. If you don't point your cameras in here either, please. We're going to have a look? No. Sorry.
You're not allowed to look at it either. Why?
Because we want to beat the others.
Why take on this huge project?
Building your own engine, who does it really?
I came here to set up something no one's ever done before in the past, to be part of history. Ferrari and Mercedes, Renault, Honda, to try and take on that might.
I thought it was absolutely bonkers.
This wasn't a blank sheet of the engine and power unit, it was a blank sheet of an entire company.
The timescales 4 years ago seemed very, very tight. We had nothing.
We got here and realised that Starting from scratch really means drawing every single fastener and O-ring and recreating systems and building factories.
We had no processes at all. How do you do this? How do you do that? Has there ever been a thing where you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to finance again?
We've got a speed dial button.
Decisions were made within minutes or hours.
That enabled us to finish everything within 55 weeks, from the first shovel of ground move to generating usable data.
Ford have got a huge history in motorsport. Their passion for it is off the chart. But at the moment, they're really helping us out with making a lot of 3D printed metal parts.
The biggest day was our very first power unit fire up on Dino 5. Control room was filled, packed with everyone who has contributed. Quite a few had tears in the eyes.
I don't think anyone would be crazy enough to do it again, let alone the investment.
First lap around track testing in Barcelona will be emotional, and let alone the first competitive lap.
The real ambition is that we learn quickly. If we do that well, then we will be competitive.
When you see the power unit, you would say, if it runs half as good as it looks, then we have no problem.
What's happening in Detroit? All right, I'm Callum Nicholas, an Oracle Red Bull Racing ambassador, and I'm sure some of you are thinking, what is he doing up here with this thing on his face? Well, despite that video we just showed you where we said we weren't going to show you the engine, we have actually produced a 3D model of the power unit, and we're going to be using augmented reality to get up close and personal with DMO1. Now, this is the very first Formula One power unit developed by Red Bull Ford Powertrains ahead of the 2026 season. Now I'm joined up here on stage by Philip Prue and Christian Herdrich, and these are two of the key people involved in bringing this collaboration together and taking on this incredible project. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Phil, I want to start by talking to you, because as I look at this absolutely incredible model in front of me, I can't help but think all of the challenges you've already overcome to get to this point. So just talk to me a little bit about this journey that you've been on.
La batterie elle prend de la place, hein, la vache.
And yeah, indeed, the model really represents all the hard work that we've just heard from Ben back in the factory. But to see it in front of us here kind of shows the culmination of all that work. Clearly, through that process, we've had challenges, but as we've already touched on, the number of achievements that we've had along the way. The first time we fired up an internal combustion engine in our new facility, the first time we transferred power through the ERS system, a whole system built around the new set of regulations, the 2026 regulations, where half the power is coming from the internal combustion engine and half the power is coming from the ERS, a true hybrid power unit that, yeah, has caused us sleepless nights, but achieved a thing of beauty that we see in front of us.
I mean, it really is a thing of beauty, and actually what's been fantastic to me is watching powertrains grow on our Milton Keynes campus. But Phil, I want to jump right in, and I want to start with the combustion engine. So I'm going to bring this up here, and the reason I want to start here is because it's the scene of one of our first big regulation changes for 2026. And what I'm talking about is the introduction of what we're going to be calling sustainable fuels. Now, I know that you've been working with our partners very hard on this particular area. So while I have a look at this amazing animation, tell me, what is it exactly you've been working on?
Yes, indeed. So as I said, 50% of the power of the overall power unit is coming from the internal combustion engine. Working with our partners at ExxonMobil, we've developed a brand new fuel in compliance with the new regulations. Fuel that allows us to achieve very high levels of thermal efficiency, which is achieved through very fast burn, very lean running, and together the fuel and the engine have been developed hand in hand to achieve that performance.
And now, while we're looking here at this combustion cycle, I have to ask, is this an area of the power unit where you expect to see a fair amount of progress as we work through these 2026 for power unit regulations?
Yes, indeed, and I think the combustion of the internal combustion engine is something that we drive and develop continuously. We're already working on our 2027 development cycle, so working again alongside our fuel supplier ExxonMobil, we're continually developing, and I see no end in what we can achieve with the pace of Formula One and applying it to these power units.
Well, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic, and I could look at that animation all day. But the next thing I want to talk about in this engine is to do with the turbocharger, because that is where we see another big regulation change, and this time to do with the architecture of the turbocharger, because we are losing the MGUH as part of this assembly. So while I take this apart, Phil, tell me about what this means for you in terms of operating this turbo without the MGUH.
Yeah, so in the previous regulations we had the MGUH, the energy recovery from heat, which was attached effectively as part of the turbocharger, extracting energy from the exhaust gases, but it was also used to be able to control the speed and maintain optimum speed of the turbine. Now, with the removal of that, we've had to find new innovations, new control strategies, and indeed adapt the way that the chassis and the driver interacts with the power unit to ensure that when we're looking for peak performance, the turbo is spinning at the right speed.
Well, it sounds like you've got your hands full with that. But Christian, I want to bring you in at this point because this is an area of the car where Ford have been working really hard and providing some of the key manufacturing processes to make this assembly possible. So tell me a little bit about what you've been working on, Christian.
Yeah, so Ford is obviously a car company. That's why we're all here tonight. But we're more manufacturing company.
J'avoue, c'est un bon point qu'ils expliquent tout là. Hein. C'est bien fait, je trouve, leur truc. Faut reconnaître.
But also the race cars in here. And for the Red Bull Ford powertrain, as well as our GT3 Mustang, our Raptor T1 Plus, we focus on a technology called direct metal laser sintering, or DMLS.
Well, DLMS, just briefly, let me just ask, is that like 3D printing but for metallic parts?
It's exactly that. So by 3D printing, we're able to create unique geometries that we couldn't through other processes like castings or forgings. But more importantly, it allows us to iterate really quickly to make sure we're putting the highest performing components into the engine and out onto the track.
Now, one of the things that I love about this animation that we have here is that as we see the turbine housing sort of grow, what we can also see is these other structures that are sort of around it and inside it. Tell me about those structures and how do you get rid of them at the end of the process?
Yeah, that's a good question. So DMLS basically entails building a part up layer by layer. And each of these layers is really thin. Think of the thickness of a human hair. So a part the size of a turbine, it's thousands and thousands of layers. So we need to give it structure and support as it builds. These structures aren't things that we necessarily want. So when the part is done printing, we take it out of the machine and we hand it over to people who I deem artists, who then meticulously pick away the supports, polish the surfaces, and we hand them over to Red Bull and then put it out on the racetrack.
Well, these artists of yours must have some tiny hands because I certainly couldn't get my shovels in there. Right, now, the next thing that I want to talk about, and actually, just before we move on, I want to ask you, Phil, a quick question. How do these turbos compare to the ones that we're now so accustomed to seeing on road-going cars?
Well, fundamentally, the architecture of the turbo is very similar. We have a compressor stage, we have a turbine stage, but the size and the air that it handles is that much larger. We have very high revving engines. We are able to generate 4.8 bar of boost, again, regulated. So fitting one of these to your road car, it will give it a punch.
So what we're saying is big turbo, big boost. I mean, that's something I can get down with for sure. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, Phil, if you happen to have one of those kicking around in the factory, send it my way. Ladies and gentlemen, the DM01. We are about done here, so I am going to take this off and join you all in the room. Oh, it's wonderful to see all of your faces, although I do accept that that feeling might not be mutual. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both for joining us up here today.
All right, are you guys ready? Should we just pull off the tarp right now? Should we see the cars? Oh, you thought it was to do that right now?
On dirait que c'est pas vraiment en direct, hein. Il y a eu une coupure là, on dirait.
And we all know this. They can change from time to time. But one thing never changes. Oracle Red Bull Racing always does Formula One like no other.
Alors, ils vont enfin enlever les bâches au bout de une demi-heure.
First wins are supposed to be different. But the truth is, it never gets old. And nor do we. We are part of a legacy and a piece of the future. Fighting for a chance to grab the horns and orbit the sun. Speed is an eternal chase. Sometimes you find it when you least expect it. The return of a familiar friend. Then it disappears in a moment. Seemingly never to be found again.
Oh, ça y est, Silverstone 2021.
Until the next time.
Et Monza 2021, il est où?
We're raised to race fast, race hard, and go again. To expect to not always be liked for it. But the people we reach, the experiences we share, create a fandom like no other. This sport is a story told in thousands of a second, made by 1,000 hands. Together, we push to the limits and beyond. Every chapter carries the same fire as the last. Red Bull is more than a racing team. It's a culture, a tribe, a family.
Une secte, je dirais même.
The new Oracle Red Bull Racing steps forward, and then we go again.
You know what that is? Simply lovely. I'll tell you that.
Simply lovely. Ta gueule, Max.
We're back with Ron and Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali. Yay.
Dominique Kelly est là, tiens.
Good evening to all of you. Hold on though. I mean, you're in the pinstripes, sir. You have changed. That's a nice change. Do a spin. Let us see. As you can tell, it's not just a new livery for the team, but clearly a new kit and new models as well. This is well and truly, it's a new era for the team and for Formula One. It's a big year of change. It's the new power unit. There are aerodynamic changes as well. How has that been, Laurent, for everyone?
You know, honestly, we kept talking about the size of the challenge and how crazy it's been for us, as for every team in front of the regulation challenge, but more specifically because of the power unit. So I think don't take my answer for the truth. We need to ask Stefano, you know, how big that challenge is for the teams. You know, how do you see that regulation challenge and how do you think it's challenging us in the way we go racing?
Well, I think that, as always, when there is a big change of regulation, is a moment when the sport finds a new blood, new energy, new ideas, a new way of being competitive. And believe me, this year is going to be a great year. There's so many things that are new, so many things that are, you know, for a lot of people, okay, my God, what I have to do, scratching their mind in the night. So stay tuned and a lot of fun, because that's what is our sport. We have great people, great engineering, and I take the opportunities, let's say on behalf of all the F1 family, to thank Ford. We are here in this magnificent place. We are in the heart of motorsport, in the motherland, and really thanks to you all that I would love to see you not only here, but all around the world to follow Formula One. That is a promise that I hope that we can share as a moment of joy.
C'est ça.
That is really Formula One of today.
Une secte avec un toxique comme Dieu.
Hands or make some noise. Who's going to be watching FP1 in Australia?
Qui va regarder les Zoéliens? Ah non, hein. Non, ça va aller.
With this new era of regulations,
Non.
are, you know, at home watching.
Ça ira, les Zoéliens en Australie, non, quand même pas. Hein. Peut-être pas abuser. Hein.
Well, of course, the new regulation, as we said, is new regulation at all levels because we have a new.
On va déjà regarder les essais privés à Bahreïn, ça sera déjà pas mal.
We have new tires, we have a new aerodynamic concept, we have a new fuel, a sustainable fuel.
Si Canal le diffuse. Je pense que oui.
Therefore, today there is a lot of voices. You know, one team is stronger than the other, but it's not true. I mean, we will see on the track soon because we're going to have a test in Bahrain, in Barcelona first, then in Bahrain, and that's where the place where we're going to see really the lap time. And one thing that is fantastic, I would say, with the new regulation is that also the energy management is on the hands, really on the hands of the driver. And that will be fantastic because really there will be a new way of interpreting the racing also by them on the track.
So it's a new way of racing, but we also have to learn as well because we as fans, there are new terms. We have a new vocabulary in 2026. So what do I need to be adding to my F1 bingo card this season?
Nicole, I think that there will be new terms that we try to be easy to understand, like, you know, boost button, overtake. So that's the way
overtake.
To manage the energy.
Okay, Max, push overtake button.
Since many years, there will be not anymore the DRS. So there will be a button that you can push when you are within the second that we can use the energy either to attack or defend. So beautiful, you're going to learn new things. And we have the duty through, you know, all the media, through the TV commentator, through us, through Laurent and his people, to make sure that we learn the new way of talking with the drivers, the new way of talking about Formula One. So it's a way to stay engaged. So stay tuned, follow all the content and all the social media. We have a new deal with Apple this year in US that you have to tune up and follow also with that.
Tu veux pas regarder les premiers essais à 4 heures chez Red Bull, non, j'en ai rien à foutre. Très clairement.
We will all be watching. Some of us even counting down the days for that.
On regardera les qualifs et la course, c'est déjà pas mal.
Let's now bring together essentially the two people who have married power unit and the car. It's Oracle Red Bull Racing director Pierre Vacher and Philip Prue, who we just saw during the power unit demonstration from Red Bull Ford.
J'aime bien les sous-titres qui bug des fois.
Everyone's wearing a new kit now. For those of you who don't know, Pierre.
Alors déjà leur t-shirt, je trouve que c'est pas ouf. Il y a un peu trop de bleu. C'est le bleu Ford après, hein, mais bon. Ça veut dire que la Red Bull va sûrement avoir beaucoup de bleu sur elle.
It's a big year. We talked about this. It's a big year for the power unit. It's a massive year for aerodynamics. How did your team approach all of the changes?
How it was mentioned before, you know, it's one of the biggest changes.
Et curieux de voir la Racing Bulls comment elle sera.
Tire change, the car weight reduced massively, aerodynamic rules change. Then what you try to do on top of the PU is to give as much as possible on design the freedom for aero to find the best performance of the car. Try to anticipate the balance limitation with this tire and with this aerodynamic.
Cet accent qu'il a lui aussi.
And position the design to achieve as much as possible more freedom and capacity to develop the car.
RB22 is obviously, there are the new regulations, but it also presents new opportunities. How did you embrace that?
I think the main opportunity we have in the new regulation, as we saw in the last one, is to give the capacity of the team to develop the car. You know, the capacity in terms of manufacturing, engineering, as much as possible, because the car you will see in Barcelona or Race 1 will be completely different in Abu Dhabi end of the year. And it will be a fight to the end in terms of development based on how the issue of the car will be, but also on the performance we find in our tool and wind tunnel.
You know, it is a marriage between the two sides. How do you two work together? How do your teams work together? Right, that happens sometimes too. How do your teams work together to effectively collaborate?
Well, the work together started right from the very concept. So starting the power unit from a blank sheet of paper, the very architecture of the power unit was able to be aligned with the concepts and the direction that we wanted to take with the chassis, as Pierre mentioned, to give maximum freedom for the aerodynamics. So that work started right from the very concept, and as we built the power unit, put more complexity on.
Les sous-titres ils ont bien été améliorés depuis 2-3 ans quand même. Hein. C'est plus précis. Hein.
I think that work will continue as we take the engine to the circuit, understanding how we interface with the aerodynamics, how we interface with the drivers. So the journey has started, but I think it very much continues as we go forward, and the opportunity to work sort of hand in hand, I think is a great opportunity to develop the car all the way through the season, as Pierre says.
It's essentially a 4-year journey that's gotten you to this point. I love the idea that for you this is a first, because for the first time you are designing the chassis and the power unit under the same roof. What's the significance of that?
You know, it's very big for us. You know, the one team concept, the first time that we are going to go into the championships with doing everything under one roof. There is only one other team doing it in Formula One, will be the next one. And, you know, to have Pierre on stage, Philippe on stage, representing all the chassis side of the company, all the power unit of the company tonight, it's a symbol of our season. It's, you know, the only reason why you do your own power unit is to make sure that you have the maximum integrations between Pierre's team and Philippe's team tonight and Ben's team. And that's what we are after. And the way our two teams are going to work as one is going to be the difference between success and failure for the whole project. And that's the spirit in which we go in it. We go in it with the Red Bull spirit, with our people at the center of the project. And Philippe and Pierre represent that today.
I cannot wait. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Stefano, thank you for being here. Yes.
Ouais, livré là.
Phil, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Guys, give it up for them. No, don't you dare.
Applaudissez-les. Non, on veut pas.
So we've heard now what we can expect from this season. I think it's finally time to introduce our new driver lineup. Sound good?
Oh, les interviews des pilotes. Alors j'espère que les pilotes vont enlever la bâche.
Red Bull Racing drivers Isaac Hadjar and the 4-time world champion Max Verstappen.
Regardez le nouveau P2 de Max, il est là. le nouveau larbin, il est là. Il est content d'être le larbin, Isaac.
To be here now, experiencing all of this.
It's a bit unreal for me, you know. I've always dreamed of driving for this team. As a kid watching TV, I saw Vettel winning all those titles, and now
attendez, je vais enregistrer les interviews aussi.
New driver lineup, sound good? Hi, how are you? Come on. I get to stand next to the new guy. Isaac, what does it mean for you to
Isaac, le nouveau larbin de Max.
Experiencing all of this.
It's a bit unreal for me, you know. I've always
ah putain, ça marche pas.
For this team,
bon.
As a kid watching TV, I saw Vettel winning all those titles, and now I'm finally in the big team. So yeah, it's a real privilege to be part of Red Bull Racing and to be next to Max.
And Max, now, like, you not only are you the dad, but you're also the oldest.
C'est un privilège d'être le larbin de Max.
To see all the changes, how have you seen the changes? How have you felt the changes in this new era?
I think, first of all, you know, everyone is very.
Il y a un peu trop de bleu, je trouve.
I am as well. And as you can see, yeah, colors have changed.
J'ai un peu de mal avec cette couleur là.
You want to see my ass?
You could just, you know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Before we get into more details, which I think is why we all want to be here, is to see what's under this, right? Let's reveal the 2026.
Allez, vas-y, balance la Red Bull là.
Red Bull Racing reveal. If it wasn't with a little bit of a Red Bull twist.
Ah, une canette. C'est important les canettes, hein. Mais c'est Yahoo. Ouais, alors, ok. Il y a quand même assez peu de changements, hein. super, c'est la même chose.
We can go. Let's go. I want to take a closer look at this. Okay. All right. Here's what I noticed. Glossy paint. Glossy paint is back.
Peinture brillante.
White outlines on the Red Bull. And you guys have to take a closer look at this later. There's a pattern on the paint, which might be my favorite part. Max, what do you think? What are your first thoughts?
I think it's much better. Yeah. It's,
c'est bien mieux, mais en vrai, ça change pas grand-chose. J'aime bien la brillance, j'aime bien le bleu. C'est ma couleur préférée.
on the Red Bull logo as well. It's back. It's much more fresh. So I like it.
You were walking around a little bit. Do you have a favorite part?
Ouais.
The front wing for some reason. Front wing and just the gloss because I think during night races it's gonna look it's gonna stand out.
Sparkle maybe under the lights. Max, I do want to talk to you as we walk back over this way about.
J'attends de voir sous la lumière du jour, parce qu'encore une fois là, c'est pareil, c'est les lumières studio, c'est compliqué quoi.
For you behind the wheel, how do all the changes impact what you do?
Yeah, it's all still a bit unknown. Of course, it's a very big change, you know, with the engine, the car. I mean, as you can see, also the dimension of the car has changed a bit. So for us drivers,
Regardez, c'est marqué AlphaTauri sur sa casquette. C'est un pilote AlphaTauri, Max.
You know, during the test days that we are getting our laps in, and yeah, then we can optimize everything as well as possible.
How about this guy's comeback?
La police du numéro change aussi. Le 3 là, on dirait un truc des années 80.
How does it impact what you do to start this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's always better to have an ending like that, for sure. And, you know, the motivation is very high. Everyone is ready and very excited to start this new chapter.
It's a new chapter for this guy.
Le bleu a l'air plus clair sur cette livrée là que sur la livrée précédente. Après, c'est pas un gros changement. C'est pas le même bleu que sur ce qu'ils ont sur leur combinaison, par exemple. Enfin, sur leur t-shirt et tout là. Genre, tu as payé combien pour dire que c'est une belle voiture? Je sais pas. Bon après elle est pas moche hein, mais le problème c'est que ça change pas des masses quoi. Hein. J'aurais pensé que le bleu se rapprocherait plus de ce qu'ils ont sur leurs vêtements là. Par exemple, mais c'est pas le cas. Et au final le Ford c'est marqué où? À part l'avant.
At least.
At least. Did y'all hear that?
Une victoire en course. Mais non, parce que c'est Max qui va gagner tout. Qu'est-ce qu'il est naïf, ce pauvre Isaac. T'as cru que t'allais gagner des courses, toi? Non, je crois pas.
Look, with everything we say today, you know, we are going to chase our small piece of history, and we know it's going to come with.
Alors Ford est à l'avant. Et même pas sur les côtés quoi, il est même pas Ford sur les côtés. Ils sont... Ah il y a si, il y a Red Bull Ford derrière là. C'est peu visible hein, quand même. Hein.
It's incredible, it's exciting, the livery looks amazing, and I can speak
évidemment des bisounours.
We cannot wait to see it on the track. Everyone, let's give it up one final time, at least right now.
Bah après, il fallait bien qu'il donne un objectif, ouais. Il allait pas dire je veux être le larbin de Max toute la saison, je veux aider Max à être champion.
That's gorgeous. Look, I'm here with our F1 Academy drivers, Alicia and Raphael. Guys, welcome to Detroit.
D'ailleurs, je suis surpris qu'ils aient fait Red Bull avant Racing Bull d'ailleurs. J'aurais pensé qu'ils feraient l'inverse, plutôt mettre d'abord en avant Racing Bull. Mais ils l'ont pas fait. Il reste un quart d'heure en gros. Ouais, ce sera le cobaye des pneus, lui. Comme sur F1 Manager, il y a un cobaye à chaque course, lui, ce sera le cobaye.
So one of my main goals this year is fight for my first podium and my first win in F1 Academy. I'm feeling more comfortable with the car, with the tracks, with the team, so I'm really happy to represent the team one more year.
And quite a team it is with Max and Isaac up there. What's it feel like to be in the Red Bull family?
Well, it's a dream come true. I still pinch myself now to this day, to be honest. It's an awesome team full of awesome people. The support network that they provide to myself and Rafa in F1 Academy, they are so committed to supporting us and to supporting F1 Academy as a series. So they're just so incredible, and they put more commitment into F1 Academy than any other F1 team on the grid. So yeah, it's a privilege for us to represent them.
We're so excited to be here in Detroit with VCAR.
Ouais, c'est pas du vrai direct, hein, je pense. Hein. Parce que là, ça enchaîne vraiment vite, quoi.
and Isaac. I don't know, I'm calling that now.
En fait, ils ont dû le faire en direct sur place, mais ça a dû être monté pour YouTube, la vidéo, je pense. Ça fait quoi de plus avoir numéro 1? Mais du coup, il a repris le numéro de Ricciardo, le 3. Ce voleur. Il pouvait pas juste prendre son 33 de base, là?
It's the team that gives emerging voices a platform to shape new, untold stories through their own lens. I think what I'm trying to say is, this isn't your average race team.
Alors, on va nous présenter la Racing Bull maintenant. La V-Carb.
Welcome to 2026.
Hold up. This isn't us. We do things differently here.
D'accord.
These are catch-up racing balls. By now, you know what it stands for. But do you know what it really means? We've gone through a few looks over the years. But let's make one thing clear. Something
Je pense pas que la livrée de V-Carb va changer des masses. Je pense que ça va rester du blanc.
to fresh faces. But don't worry, no history lessons here. All you need to know is this team is all about new. New lineups to rewrite the script.
Vu les tenues déjà qui changent pas des masses.
New ways to shape up the grid. This is not your average race team. We won't keep quiet. And we won't sit still. We won't stay serious until it really matters.
Lawson, best ever Formula One result.
Whatever makes us listen, whatever makes us move, whatever makes us, well, look good. We want to be a part of it. Because we create champions. And we champion creativity. So this year we'll continue to be what we always have been, the home for a new generation of talent. It doesn't matter where you are.
Si je veux mettre ça sur YouTube, il va y avoir des problèmes avec la musique, je pense.
Welcome to 2026.
Au moins sur Twitch, c'est plus libre.
Welcome to 2026, indeed. I'm going to need two very important people to help me get this reveal rolling. Welcome your 2026 Visa Cash App Racing Bull driver lineup, Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad.
Alvin Lindblad. Oh, la musique hip-hop là.
Hello, how are you both feeling today?
Feeling good, real good, yeah.
Yeah?
Une canette à la main, le Arvid.
See the car? Well, shall we do this? Are you guys ready? Can I hear you? Should we get a countdown going?
Je crois vraiment que le fait qu'on les voit avec une canette à la main, ça va nous inciter à acheter du Red Bull, quoi. Enfin, le marketing comme ça marche pas sur moi en tout cas. Hein. Ah, alors voyons. Voyons cette V-Carb. Eh ben voilà, ça change pas des masses, comme prévu. C'est pareil en fait. C'est exactement pareil. Ça a l'air plutôt bien, c'est exactement la même chose. Ouais, il y a du Ford, ouais, il y a un truc carbone derrière là avec le Ford. Que c'est original. Nous avons plus de bleu, ah bon? Oh bon. Ouais.
I really like the mat. It's like the carbon bits as well. It's like really cool. Yeah, it looks real cool.
Amazing. Well, I've got a few more questions for you guys, so come back over here. Because Arvid, I just want to start.
Ouais, non, il y a une partie carbone, il a raison. Et les jantes blanches, pas mal aussi. Il y a quelques petits changements, mais c'est pas non plus une révolution.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, I can't wait. It's been my goal always to get to Formula One and to sort of have the dream come true is something I've always been working towards. So,
Lui, je le sens pas, lui. Je sais pas, il va faire de la merde. Je sens que Lindblad, là, il va se cracher.
In 2026, we've got a new era of F1, new cars, a new track. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I mean, it's obviously going to be a very different season, new opportunities. Firstly, we need to see how fast the car is. It looks fast, so hopefully it's fast on track. But yeah, it's exciting.
Ça a l'air rapide. T'en sais rien, ça.
Bringing on the new year. So, how do you both feel about being part of this movement in F1 culture? Everything the team does on socials allows us to see your personalities. How important is it for fans to see who you are beyond a racetrack?
Non, ça va. Ça change plus ouais, sur le côté en fait, la livrée. Qu'on voit pas trop de prime abord. Mais elle est pas mal, ça va. Il y a toujours ce liseré vert Visa Cash App là, enfin Cash App, qui est pas ouf, mais bon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the lip syncs are exciting. So yeah, it's no, it's like you say. I mean, obviously to show the personality and stuff is really important, and no, it's cool to be doing something a bit different on that side.
Ouais, le liseré bleu sur le côté, ouais, ça rend pas mal ça. Non, ça va aller pas mal, j'avoue. Mieux que la Red Bull.
Are you ready? Okay. First one is, what is your favorite pre-race song?
Votre chanson préférée avant une course, c'est quoi ces questions là?
It depends for me where I am. Like if I'm racing in America, I listen to all the country music, but on average,
Musique country.
So
Du rap.
Number one would be probably J. Cole, No Role Models.
Okay, and Arvis?
Yeah, I really like Eminem. Obviously here in Detroit.
Oh là là, Eminem.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the 8 Mile film for the first time last week. So
ouais, ça y est, lui, il fait du fan service là. J'aime Eminem parce que je suis à Détroit.
The next question's for you, Liam. Will you ever drop a country album, or at least think about
Un album country un jour? Quoi?
I would like to.
Jacques Villeneuve?
Maybe eventually it's something that's.
Il va faire de la musique lui aussi? Le nouveau Jacques Villeneuve?
But to drop an album, you got to put a lot of time into that. I'm not at that level yet, so one day though.
One day, I mean, the last time I saw you was in Austin at COTA. You were in the cowboy boots, the cowboy hat. You had a whole.
Quelle couleur vos chaussettes pour la course?
I mean, I really embrace that weekend. It's probably my favorite weekend of the year. It's an amazing race. And I think Austin has a big music culture as well, so it's something that I really enjoy.
I love that. Okay, Arvid, the fans would love to know, who did you call when you found out you were going to become an F1 driver?
I was with my dad at the time, so he was the first person I told. Yeah, it was a special moment. Obviously, he was sort of the thing that we did together. You know, on the weekends or after school, we'd go to the track, so to share that moment with him was very special.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, final question.
So sweet!
Your socials are really great. They never fail to make us laugh each week. The lip syncs, the walking questions, 10 out of 10. Are you excited for more in 2026?
Who asked that question?
It might have been the admin team.
We love admin. We make fun of them a lot, and we get like a time each weekend that we have to do admin, like social content, and sometimes I try and shorten that time as much as I can, but we love them.
That's good to know. I think it's time to go to the big bosses. Join me in welcoming to the stage Peter Bayer and Alan Permain.
Alan Payne. C'est Perman les sous-titres.
Hello. It's great to have you both with us this evening. Peter, I'd love to know your initial thoughts on this amazing car we've got in front of us.
Ouais, les questions pas très utiles là, pour les pilotes.
Last year's car was an absolute fan
Mais bon.
favorite, so we didn't want to change too much. And what you see, obviously, is an evolution of last year's car. And we built our identity, the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls identity, based on this design, and we're very proud of that. And I guess some things I want to highlight, I think Liam actually recognized that immediately, is there's a bit more blue on the car, you know, referencing to Red Bull, referencing to Visa, and of course to welcome Ford to our Visa Cash App Racing Bulls family. So honestly, I think the car looks stunning. I love it.
I love that. And Peter, we've seen V-Carb shift in everything it's doing for fans. How important is it for teams to engage with their audience beyond the racing?
Well, look, our team is a talent incubator, and working with young drivers like Liam and Arvid allows us to connect authentically with a young audience, and that's what we're trying to do by visiting the fans where they are, you know, going to the social media channels. And as you said, you know, we're inviting the fans to join us. We want to democratize the sport and make sure that everybody can be a racing bull.
I love that. So bringing the creativity on and off the track. And Alan, this is a big moment for Ford today, coming back into the sport after 22 years, and for the Red Bull family for making history as the first team to go from making an energy drink to developing their own power unit. How are you feeling going into 2026?
Excited, very excited. I started working in Formula One a long time ago, 37 years ago. The first car I worked on had a Ford engine. The first car I won
Oh, ça rappelle des
had a
souvenirs.
Ford engine. The first car I won a world championship with had a Ford engine. So to have Ford partnering with Red Bull powertrains is it's like a real full circle moment for me, and I can't wait to get started.
That's such an incredible 360 moment, and what a way to enter 2026. So as we gear up towards the start of the season, it's all systems go. You guys have got testing in a few weeks' time. I wish you all the best, and thank you for joining me today on stage. Throw back to you, Dex.
Thanks, Ruby. Thanks, Racing Bulls. Now let's get both teams up here on stage, and while that's happening, let's check in with Nicole.
We casually call this like slight fill time to let the family just gather around on stage. How are we feeling about 2026? How are we feeling about all of that? Look, if you're not excited, if you're not ready for the season, then something might actually be wrong with you. From Ford Red Bull powertrains and the groundbreaking new partnership between two icons in the field of motorsports, to brand new driver lineups that combine youth and potential with what is already a rather dominant force. Throw in those new looks, a little glossy paint, and some new vocabulary for all of us, right? This is a new era of Formula One, and I think we're all ready for it. Dax?
Yes, this has been an unbelievable event from start to finish, so thanks all of you for being here in person or watching online around the world. 2026 promises to be an amazing year for motorsports, and I can't wait to hear the engines roar. Thanks everybody and good night.
Ouais, good night, c'est ça. Ah, on s'est pas levé à 4h pour voir ça non plus, hein. Faut pas déconner, hein. Ouais, bon, ça va. La partie moteur 3D, c'était pas mal. J'avoue, ils expliquaient bien. Le reste, bah, c'est du Red Bull, quoi. Hein. Ils interviewent leurs pilotes, etc. Donc, logique, j'ai envie de dire. Tout est à la gloire de ces vendeurs de canettes. Ok, bon, bah, on verra ce que ça donne les perfs pour eux. Voilà pour cette petite réaction au groupe Red Bull. Je vous laisse. Bye bye.